I'm going to be leaving here soon, and I'd like to share with you some insight on myself. This self that identifies with my memories. This self that calls itself I and me. I have memories, and myself identifies with these memories. I was born on the border of Texas and Mexico in 1962. My grandparents were farmers in the Depression, and my parents raised their children with the morals and values that were passed down from that generation. These values were not based on material status. The values of my family were focused more on behavior. Looking back, we were lower middle class financially. I grew up in a suburb of a mid-sized town. My father was a civil servant, my mother was a teacher, and all the people in our neighborhood were also lower middle class. But we were raised to think of class as a behavior. Behavior established class. Low class was the behaviors of crude, mean, ignorant people. And so, according to our behavior, we did not feel poor. We did not feel low class. And as I grew older, I saw a big difference between the materialistic status and the class status that I was raised in. Many of the wealthy people I met behaved in a really low class manner, mean, crude, and ignorant. And so there was a big disconnect for me between the material status that I had, which was lower middle class. And often I felt poor. As I was in the university, I wasn't earning much money. I didn't have much money available. I felt poor, especially compared to the trust fund babies that I often met that seemed to have a limitless supply of dollars to spend. And their attitudes were often mean and crude. Of course, I met many people like myself, morally straight and well-adjusted. Not to say that we were perfect. We imbibed too much alcohol, and we experimented quite a bit with all kinds of street drugs. And I'm sure that shaped my worldview. Meditation became a large part of my life. I had a traumatic experience at 18 when I lost a close friend, and I was struggling with depression. And in my freshman class at the university, I took a karate class, which introduced me to meditation. And I enjoyed meditating often, and I was good at it because meditation largely is about living in the moment and emptying your mind of discursive thoughts. And at that time of my life, I didn't have that many thoughts, so it was pretty easy to let them go. I was into martial arts most of my adult life, up until I took my first Tai Chi class. And I also read a book on traditional Chinese medicine. And I became aware of the power of Qi, the life force that flows through our bodies, and how important that is to our health and well-being. And then I stumbled upon a book when I was living in Lima, Peru, about Qigong specifically. And I began studying and practicing Qigong and practicing meditation on a daily basis. And so I have been practicing Qigong and meditating daily, every morning, before breakfast, for the last 25 years. And it has made a huge impact on my life. As I said, I used to suffer from depression. I smoked way too much pot. And through Qigong and meditation, I was able to heal myself from all the traumas of my past, confront them, accept them, and just learn to be in the moment. And I began to study Buddhist literature because I was interested in meditation. The Buddhists know the most about meditation. I studied many different schools, and now I've found I'm most attracted to Zen Buddhism. And the basic premise of Zen is that we can all achieve enlightenment at any moment. And this enlightenment comes from being in the moment, being at peace, and not identifying with this self that speaks, this self always talking to us silently inside our brains. There is a greater self that resides within us and without us. And when you are aware of this greater self, the watcher of the watcher, when you are observing yourself in meditation and you become aware of being the observer, you're connecting with the greater self. When you reach samadhi, pure consciousness, there are no boundaries. You are not limited to this human physical body. You connect with the entire universe. You just exist. Existence is reality. There's no dialogue. There's no path, just being in the moment. I would like to help you if you are searching for an escape from the drudgery of your life, from depression or anxiety. I offer you sanctuary at Centro Suelo Sano in Escamaquita, Nicaragua. We have a sustainable retreat center there on a small piece of land where we're growing a food forest. We are completely off-grid with a composting toilet, outdoor shower, very little electricity, no Wi-Fi. But we are surrounded by beautiful nature and a loving community. I wake to the sounds of howler monkeys and the birds. We live with the sun. When the sun comes up, we awaken. When the sun goes down, we prepare for sleep. I invite you to join me at Suelo Sano for 3 days, a week, even longer if you like. Whatever time you need to find your true self, to learn how to disconnect from the ego, to learn how to be associated with your light body. We are bodies of energy. When we can nurture our energy bodies, our physical bodies are fine. And so I invite you to join me for meditation and Qigong and healthy meals in the jungle setting of Suelo Sano in Nicaragua.